たぞフェイト。
まただ。
Berserk of Gluttony. I feel, my friends, like I have just stumbled upon the gem of the fall season. So grab your drink of choice, your pumpkin spice, and strap the F in. Berserk of Gluttony episode 1 was fire. Like, it's rare. Like, honestly, like at the end of the day, we get, 20, 30, 40 different anime every single season. And it's rare for episode 1 to just like hit a effing home run. But Berserk of Gluttony, episode 1 was that home run. Like, I felt absorbed by it. I felt in it. I was like, I really want to know more about this. Like, it just, everything I find interesting within a really good, captivating, well-written show, I found in this. The last time I really felt like this with a brand new show, mind you, was Eminence in Shadow. Eminence in Shadow episode 1, I was like, this is freaking, like, this is it. Like, this is the stuff. Like, this is the juice. And that's how I felt here with Berserk of Gluttony. I was like, this is the same feeling I got like 2-3 seasons ago with Eminence in Shadow. Like, this is going to be the other Eminence in Shadow this season. I really, really feel that way. So episode 1 introduces us to the world. And I love when an anime does that. It's like they kind of introduce kind of like the nuance and the way the world is. And we basically find out that, it's an old fantastical type of world where, it's kind of based in like, it's based in a fantasy world. Oh, damn, my hair is jacked up. It's based in like a fantasy world, right? But like, it's based in a world where you would say, okay, this was like the, like Roman Empire type days. I don't know, just really, really like a long time ago, but with magic on top of it. Knights and magic and all that other stuff. And we find out through the world that, there's a hierarchy of class, social class, as there always is. But this social class is based on skills bestowed by God. At some point and they didn't really cover if it's like a church thing or if it's just born with. Like, there have been shows before where folks from birth just naturally have a skill, and then kind of as they come into age, it kind of just grows with them, kind of thing. We don't really know that for sure, but God has bestowed a bunch of skills on everybody in the land. And our main character, Fate, tells us, through his dialogue that some people have crafting and merchant and sword skills and holy skills and this skills and hero skills and blah, 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 blah. He was gifted a gluttony skill, which puts him very, very low on the totem pole, not because it's bad, because it has zero understanding of it. And based on what he could do with it, which is virtually nothing, he's basically like the lowest trash tier of people. Now, we learned that based on your skill, it kind of like sets you up for success in life. Depending on your skill, it may put you into a social class that involves like sales and merchant and craftsmanship and stuff like that, which is a need. The other half puts you in another social bucket where you have knights and mercenaries and swordsmen and basically fighters, defenders, things like that, right? So you have like these two buckets, and then you have like the third bucket of folks, which is like your worthless folks, essentially, which is the ones where their skills don't quite fit either of the large buckets. They're not a hunter, they're not a gatherer. They're somewhere in between. They don't really have a purpose, and they're the ones that kind of struggle through life. Now, the one thing as I was watching the show that kind of pissed me off a little bit is, I guess because of the way that the world works and your ignorance to the world and stuff like that, is he was like, I really wish I got a skill like craftsmanship or merchant or something. And in my head, just like our real world is, you're not inherently bored with anything, Now, you might be bored with, being able to catch on really quick. Like there's normal things that you might necessarily have, like you're able to read really fast, or things just make sense a little bit more. But it doesn't mean you can't learn. So I guess my biggest qualm with the show was that he kind of just subsided himself or resigned himself to a fate like his name simply based off skills alone, not thinking that he could still be a craftsman or still be a merchant or still be, useful or a salesman or something like that. But that's my only qualm. Otherwise, we find out that this is how the world works, and he was given the skill gluttony, basically put him in that third bucket that I talked about. And he's been given odd jobs. He's working for a specific family of a holy knight family, and he's given a post to watch, basically do the holy knight's bitch work essentially, and watch a gate and stuff. And thankfully, there's one knight who is looking out for him for whatever reason. Maybe she fancies him. Whatever the case is, there's a soft spot in this girl, Roxy. There's always a Roxy. There's a soft spot. There's a soft spot in this girl, Roxy's heart for him for whatever reason. Okay, it could just be she pities him, or she likes him in that. We don't know yet. We'll see what that ends up being. Now he's got a little power in him. Maybe that her view of him will change over time. The long story, she gives him a job, later on, but he was working for a family that was abusing him, and who, habitually these characters have died who have been in this spot before. And through happenstance, essentially, he sees some people who are some thieves, and he warns Roxy, who took over a post for him. And very long story short, he kills a thief for the first time, which his skill finally activates, which is basically absorption. He's able to absorb skills, and he gets a big power up, and he stumbles upon a sword. The sword kind of talks based on his telepathy skill that he has, which I thought that was really cool. He came across a sword that's kind of and what do they call it? Ancient or sentient, or basically has conscience. There's a word for that. I can't remember right in the moment. But the sword has consciousness, and he partners with him, and the sword's like, yo, I'm the shit, basically. And he goes and he kills a bunch of goblins. He gets some more powers. He gets some more absorbed, all before he starts his first day with Roxy. And before we kind of get to that next portion of it, the episode ends with him finding a girl who's being kidnapped for whatever reason. And his next task is to, we get left off on a cliffhanger of him needing to go save this little girl. And man, I just felt like this hit every bone in my body. And I was like, yeah, this is the juice. This is the stuff. Berserk of Gluttony is fantastic. I would say easily first episode impression is 9 out of 10. And I don't give those 9s out of 10s very often. So I think this one is solid. I'm going to cover it this season. I think this one made such an impression on me. I was like, yeah, this is the stuff. This is the juice here. So anyways, you may not feel that same way. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Normally, I would make some kind of should you watch a video? My first impression. This is episode 1 review. We're going to review this bad boy. So let me know what you guys thought. I'll see you guys for next week's episode number 2. I appreciate you guys being here. See you then.